Live, that's cool.
Yeah, we need to get this going.
We'll go over to this one. Go over to this one. So we're almost there. Privacy to public. Done. Go down here. It's the QB. Web face. And no, we're live. We're good. We've got visitors. Hey guys, don't panic. A few technical issues tonight. Plus, I had a bit of birthday cake I had to eat. So we'll get onto that in about, I don't know, let's say a minute and a half, guys. Bear with us. Audio. I think we're pretty well rocking and rolling there by the looks of it, good sir. Down to where it needs to be. Grab me a chair. Woof. How you looking, Chief? Your entry's all good?
Yeah, I think they can see our ugly mugs and identify who's at the other end.
Well, let's start.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Episode 1 of season 2, I guess. Why not? Lack of a better description. Thank you all for tuning in and being patient with it. Little 10 minutes. I was about 5 minutes late. Just had to have a bit of birthday cake. These things happen.
You've got to live your life.
Life? What's that?
Last time I checked, we weren't contracted to Spotify anyone. We didn't have a start time officially.
Well, absolutely. If Spotify wants to reach out, I'm more than happy to talk to you.
We really do appreciate everyone tuning in, though. It's been great being up and down the street this week, and people saying when he is back, and
that is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so that part of it's good. And look, we're serving a purpose. The amount of people who've been coming and seeing me and saying, "Fantastic, keep doing what you're doing. This is really helping me."
Yeah.
We're helping a lot of people who thought they were alone, who'd been treated poorly and
isolated,
felt neglected.
Yep.
So, if that's, I had a meeting with a guy just yesterday, and we spoke about some serious stuff. And but I said to him, I said, look, I don't want to be a negative. I don't want this to be a sook fest. We're doing well.
Yep. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, we're both doing well.
Life's great.
Yeah. I'm back at work this week after a fantastic holiday, and I'm doing well.
Yep.
I'm rested. I'm healthy. I feel good. My relationships with my friends and family are stronger after a great Christmas break, and I had some really good time to get away and spend some quality time, and it was fantastic. There was not a bad day spent over the holidays, and I feel blessed for
life's good, man. Life's really good. I get to have 2 birthdays every year by accident. I don't celebrate, right? It's not my thing. So I'm not going to go, there's not going to be birthday parties and blah, blah, blah. But what I did was when I signed up to Facebook all them years ago, right?
So you got a Facebook birthday.
I kind of thought to myself, what's going to be the last day that anybody's going to pay any attention to little old me having a birthday, right? And I figured the 1st of January, everyone's going to be hungover, everyone's going to be buggered, nobody's going to be paying any attention to that shit. And I didn't really want to tell Mark Zuckerberg a damn thing.
No.
Now, based on his most recent interview with Rogan, I feel very justified in not trusting the little prick. So I've got to put my birthday as the 1st of January. It's actually the 16th, which is today. So I've just had a little family birthday party. I sold a couple of cars.
Happy birthday.
Sold a couple of cars, booked a couple of pest jobs, done a few bits and pieces. So you probably noticed I've been a bit heavy on some videos and rolling out just some things this morning. It almost makes me look like I'm about 50 places at once, but I just kind of do the content stuff and then get on to each aspect of my day. People go, how do you do that? And how can you be? And it's like, no, I kind of do all the filming portion mostly here, unless I'm live on, like Car Yard or whatever.
And you break it down and roll it out.
Break it down, roll it out as sort of, as the chunks sort of allow. But
I was just talking to a friend tonight, and I said, the commitment that I've had to apply to this venture, because back in the day when we first came together, I had the luxury because you'd made the commitment to run a weekly radio show, I could book my calendar, and then if I had a vacancy in my calendar and something I wanted to get off my chest, I could always ring you and say, "Have you got a slot for me tonight available on your radio show?" And more often than not, you'd say, "Yeah."
Sure, why not?
So I could come in, and then the next week I'd just say, "Oh no, I'm too busy," or
Yeah.
"Well, bad luck."
Now you're buggered, mate. Now you're
Yeah.
part of this, committed to the time.
And look, it's worthwhile. I think it's really good.
I
I'm looking at the stuff we're doing, and the positive feedback that I'm getting from people is just overwhelming, and I intend to continue it.
yeah, look, and
I'm motivated. We've had a good break. I was ready to go again last week. I had some content ready to go. You were tied up, and that's
yeah. And look, and there are going to be weeks where you might be flying solo, I might be flying solo.
Yeah.
We've had a request from Lady Liberty. Can she join us next week? And
Yes.
I sort of said, yeah, look, that'd be great.
That'd be good. That'd be good. And that'd be different outside content.
We're hoping to, for this year, Zoom a few more people in on various occasions.
No, that'd be good.
And we can't both be here at all times every week in, week out. There are just times we just can't.
No. You've got contracts you've got to go and fulfill. You've got family holidays you've got to be at. You've got funerals, births, deaths, marriages, weddings. Yeah.
Customers you need to appease. Work needs to be done.
Let's do the intros.
We better start and get that right. Yeah. Other than the fact that I just wanted to say that this one for a little bit of an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dean and Irv Spin Doctors for 2025. I just really wanted to do that. I don't know why. It was a bit like I got some stick today because I did a little Eminem impersonation in my little video this morning just to roll it out. Yeah, to an Eminem. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
My name's Anthony Irvine. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council. However, the opinions I express here are mine and mine alone, and not those of Temora Shire Council.
And I'm Dean McRae, and my opinions are absolutely 100% my own. I still don't answer to anybody, really, other than my friends and family and those who love me, but I don't really answer to them. I just sort of obviously have to answer to them when they go, "What'd you say that for?"
Yeah.
Beyond that, my opinions are my own, certainly not owned. Nobody sponsors the show. Nobody controls the show. There's no sponsors we need to appease. No bum kissing required.
And, there's been a complete 180 in the world of alternative media. And the wokeness has been absolutely poleaxed.
It's been obliterated at the moment. 4 days to go.
Yes, and look, roll on.
Oh, mate, it's phenomenal.
And even to the point where some people are saying, is Musk genuine, or is that genuine, or is something else? Maybe or maybe not. This might be just the other phase of the pendulum swinging back, and it's all controlled. But I'm telling you, the pendulum was so far one way that something had to happen.
Oh, look, something had to break.
However it's happened, it's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look, I don't trust Zuckerberg as far as I can kick him.
No.
I also look at Elon Musk and I go, I'm thrilled with what he's doing.
If Zuckerberg is operating a business out of Silicon Valley in California, he is owned by the US government, and he would be doing their bidding.
Of course.
And that is just...
And he essentially admitted that on Rogan this week.
But that is undeniable. That is the fact, because you cannot run a business the size of Zuckerberg's out of the States and not have...
You're answerable to somebody.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure how Musk is doing it, other than the fact that he's got Trump's backing at this stage.
I watched a Whitney Webb video the other day, and she seemed to claim that Musk, with his Starlink and his rockets, has got some military ties to the US government, and there are some financial and contractual engagements there. So
I imagine there would be.
Yeah, so
they're not going to let you just, as much as I'd love the world to be a situation where I go, I've built a rocket, I'm going to send up in space. Yeah. I'm fairly sure if the US government decided, no, that's not happening, they're going to shoot him fair out of the air.
And I think if they want some, they want a payload delivered to a certain destination, and he's got a vehicle,
they're going to,
they're going to say, how much, Elon?
Yeah, what do we got to do?
Yeah, and, we're all friends here.
Yeah, that's right. And I look at the Trump stuff. People accuse me of being a Trump acolyte, which is kind of hilarious because I think some of his policies are shit.
Yes.
But I do love, and again, some people go, is it genuine? Is it not? I hope like hell it is, because as much as some of his policies I think are shit, overall he seems to be absolutely doing.
Well, something happens. Whenever he's about, something happens, even to the point that Biden will be claiming credits
for
for the ceasefire in Gaza.
Hey, well,
And-
did you see that? You know, like Trump. If this isn't sorted out by the time I
Yes.
take the chair, I'm going to you
Yes.
up. Right?
Yes.
End of story. I'm
Yes.
not even going to go into it. That's what needs to happen.
Yes.
2 days later, they're like, yeah, well, we've done a deal.
Yeah.
Everything's cool now. Oh,
Yeah.
and Biden
you
comes
go,
out and
"Oh, look, thanks."
Biden come out licking his ice cream and
Yeah.
whatever the hell he
But
was
he could have
doing.
done that. If he couldn't do it now, he could have done it 6 months ago.
Who, Trump could have?
No, Biden.
Oh, Biden. Shouldn't
That's
do it.
what I mean. No, but you know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at.
Having Joe Biden run the country, we might as well head up to Narrabri up here and wheel out somebody up there.
Well,
It could be anybody and go, hey, we're going to put
They
you
do
in
a bad
charge.
job.
But they couldn't do a worse job, that's for sure.
Okay, now just to follow up on some loose ends with some ongoing projects.
For sure. Let's do it.
So nothing to update on Liverpool at the moment. I haven't done my homework in that space, so I will get to it. But they've put a call out for public hearings in the Liverpool City Council. So they're going to progress that, even though there was a Supreme Court injunction that they tried to implement. That's all trucking along. I'm not sure when the dates are, but we'll get on to that. Koodagundagai.
Yep.
Apparently, and I haven't had this confirmed, I've reached out to someone, but I had some dates given to me tonight that the 18th and 19th of February, the Boundaries Commission are hearing submissions on the Cootamundra-Gundagai Regional Council demerger.
Well,
So this is part of the process. So
it's interesting, yeah, for sure.
So mid to late next month, we're going to have a lot of probably media coverage and a lot of commentary, and we'll have, I think, when the dust settles from that, then that we'll have a clear indication as to where this is going to go.
Bit of a picture of how.
So that's where Koodagundagai
yeah.
going. So that's rolling along, but it's a slow bus that they're on.
That's
Now,
all these
one of
government
the most
entities, they're slow
hilarious
buses.
things. The hilarious things. I went to a councillor induction day for shits and giggles at the leagues, the Rules Club at Wagga, hosted by Rerock, not long after the most recent council elections.
Yeah.
And put forward by a person there was this idea that you have to bring a completely unbiased mind to the table when you're making a decision, and you have to make a decision on the papers put before you.
Right.
And the proposal they put forward was that up in southern Sydney somewhere, there was a proposal to put a road through, and someone had campaigned vigorously against this road going through. And they were subsequently elected to council on that platform.
Yes.
And this individual put forward the idea
that person should then change their
that
mind.
person
and fall
should
into line.
almost declare a pecuniary interest and not participate in the vote.
Yeah, right.
Now, if that isn't a subversion of the democratic process,
Absolutely.
because obviously the community have spoken, they want that.
They want that
there.
voice in that room to bring forward that
Yes.
particular.
But if that argument was to have any weight, then pretty much every member of Koodagundagai Council won't be able to stay in the room if they have an opportunity of a decision point relative to this.
Yeah.
Because the mayor of Koodagundagai, Ab McAllister, has come out vehemently and in support of the demerger.
Okay,
So he's on the.
he's leading the campaign to demerge this council.
They've always pursued as a group and as a council. And our good friend Charlie Sheen, not Charlie Sheen from Hollywood, Charlie Sheen
two and a half men. Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
He fell on his sword and he said, "I can't put up with this any longer. I've fought and fought and fought."
Yep.
But they're all in.
Yes.
They've all, as a group, said, "We want this demerger."
Yeah.
So how on earth do you bring an unbiased mind to that discussion?
Well, and that's what they're there for.
Well,
if you're running
they're bringing the thoughts of the people to.
Well, they were representing enough of the people
Yes.
to get them elected based on the positions that they have taken. Yes. I want to see.
So that was, anyway, back to this. And I basically piped up and I said, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
Now,
amen.
There was a guy sitting there from Koodagundagai Council, and I just didn't think quick enough because I could have said, well,
ask this guy.
Yes. Are you going to abstain from the vote?
Based on the fact that you don't agree with the
based on the fact that you have flown a flag on that matter right from day one.
Yeah.
And he would have gone, I'll be in the room and I will be voting.
Yes. And I'll be voting to demerge.
Yes. And if I don't, then I'll go down to the hotel on Friday night and they'll throw me in the creek.
Yes.
Because all my mates are going to say, You're full of shit.
Bullshit artists. Yeah. And, like, I mean, again, I've been very vehement on a lot of topics regarding councils, regarding state and federal governments. If all of a sudden I tripped, fell, and accidentally had to put up with being elected, and then started going, oh, yeah, look, let's raise taxes, it'll be right. I'd be the biggest bullshit artist hypocrite on planet Earth. If I'm in that room, any of those rooms, it makes no difference. Not that I have any intentions of running for anything again, but, if I'm in any of those damn rooms, my principle and backbone indicate that. No, we won't be voting. I will never, ever vote for an increase in taxes or a decrease in people's personal freedoms. They're my two I guess, broad stroke caveats. I would never support more taxes ever. Never, there's just no argument for it. I don't care what the pandemic is. I don't care what the story is. I will never support higher taxes, and I will never support a decrease in people's individual freedoms.
If an individual wants to make a donation to a particular cause that the government might be promoting,
hell, good God, yes,
completely up to them.
Absolutely, for sure, without a worry in the world. If and you look, California at the moment on fire is one of the best examples of this, because a heap of these Yanks have come out. Guess what? They're all digging deep now. California is one of the highest taxed states in America. I think it is the highest tax state. One of the highest tax places in the world.
A lot of people's homes who got burnt were
millionaires and trillionaires and actors and people with probably kids in their basement because they're puffy party folks. That's probably
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, let's make some evidence disappear quick.
Was he Puff the Magic
Dragon? Yeah, that's right. But all even taking the piss out of that side, they're one of the highest taxing places in the world relative, certainly in America. I'm sure they're one of the highest taxing states.
I'd like to see a comparison on California to New South Wales, for example.
Oh, look, if you look at it per capita or whatever, I'd love to see a comparison.
I'd love to see the
maybe that'll be the homework for the week. But
that's probably not a
bad. But then you hear
because you say that, and so California's heavily taxed in American terms.
Yeah.
How does it rate in Australian terms?
Well, I'm sure I've mentioned it on either this program or on Pterodactyl FM before. We actually, when I was with the Liberal Democrats and was relatively right in the inner workings of the machine, so it was a fairly interesting machine. They're currently now the Libertarian Party and doing very well. But at the time, we actually employed somebody or commissioned a 6-month report. I can't remember what we spent on it.
On hidden taxes.
On taxes.
Yes.
We use Victoria as the model state.
Yes.
And we set some parameters around this independent investigation, if you will. I'm sure there's an intellectual word for what we did. Basically, we employed somebody, or we gave them a heap of money. We said, your job is to go and identify every tax, every sneaky tax, every hidden tax, bundle it into a report that shows
all the fees, all the charges.
We want the complete picture, not the but you're only being taxed this amount for this, and it came back that Victorians at that time, and it would have been probably 5 or 10 years ago. The Victoria tax threshold, tax rate, if you looked at it all in, it's about 56%.
Yes.
Once you work out that you're paying tax on your money,
tax on your fuel,
and then you tax on your fuel, then you tax on that, then you sneaky this, and then there's a
fire service levy on your insurance. There's this insurance and there's that insurance.
That's it. And
stamp duty on that, and there's stamp duty.
And this woman, very intelligent, learned, all the university degrees in the world, whatever.
And they are clipping the ticket every time you transact.
Absolutely. Now, that was 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago. What's it like
wouldn't have gotten better.
It certainly hasn't gotten better.
It's a basket case now, financially.
Oh, it's a shit show. I mean, look, the sooner they declare bankruptcy, the better.
Let's roll on. You'll recall late last year, I put some questions to the general manager.
Oh, tomorrow we're in TSC business.
Yep, I've received some correspondence back. Now, this arrived as a very early Christmas present. I could have put it under the tree because I received this on the 24th of December.
Oh?
Yeah.
How cute.
It wasn't emailed, and it wasn't emailed to the other councillors, which is unusual because generally when the general manager responds to an inquiry, the general manager will include all of the councillors so that they may
transparency of knowing what's being discussed.
But this one's been delivered in paper form only and not electronic.
Yeah.
And to me, individually.
Well, you take photos of it and put it on your Facebook page, mate. That way there's transparency and accountability.
Let's just talk about some of it on the World Wide Web.
let's do it.
Doing a spin doctor.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll get it out there.
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay. So I asked a question of the general manager, and this relates to the engagement of the ex-general manager, Mr. Gary Lavelle, into his new position on council. Now, my understanding is that the governing body engage the general manager.
Yep.
And then the general manager is responsible for appointments and dismissals for everyone else in the operation.
Yep. That separation of church and state, or
Yes. Now,
council laws versus
since that,
versus
I've been given
employees.
information that the mayor made the appointment of Mr. Lavelle to staff.
Yep.
So that is unusual in itself.
Yes.
So,
Is it outside the rules?
well, I can't find a rule that supports it.
Right.
And
Can
I've
you
heard
find-
some unusual reasoning that might pretend to support it,
Right. Okay.
but I haven't had anything definite to rely upon.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well,
Um,
if there's nothing shady going on, they shouldn't have a problem with us discussing.
well, but,
Should be-
but
should
no,
be
but
very
seriously,
straightforward.
it should be in the Act where the mayor can make an appointment.
Yep.
But my question was to the general manager, well, can you please show me the resolution of council that enabled the mayor or empowered the mayor to make that appointment?
to make that decision and pull that
Well,
move. Yeah.
because the mayor represents the governing body.
Yep.
And the response is, council have spent significant resources on addressing your concerns in relation to this matter, and you have also referred this matter to the Office of Local Government for consideration, which I believe you have received a response. Therefore, I consider that the matter has been finalised. I will not be providing a response to these questions for the following reasons.
I don't want to.
The information is not necessary for the performance of your civic functions, and it results in an unreasonable diversion of staff time and resources. Now, it'd take about 30 seconds to answer the question of, please advise the current employment status of Mr. Gary Lavelle. Is he still engaged by council, or has he left council's employ?
That's a pretty
Now,
straightforward
That
question.
would really take about 30 seconds to find an answer on. So
I don't reckon you'd need any staff to do that if you're the general manager.
I don't think
overseeing the whole
I don't think
lot.
that results in an unreasonable diversion of staff time and resources. But I might be wrong.
If
they might
it
have
takes
to go-
you longer than that, I think we've got a pretty serious problem.
These agreements or this information might be held on an island in the middle of Lake Centenary that you can only access via a boat
Well, tomorrow's
over a
version.
moonlit night. I don't know.
Tomorrow's Epstein Islander.
Don't know.
Don't know. Could
And
be.
another answer was, the information is not necessary to the performance of my civic functions. Well, yes, it is.
My civic functions are reporting
Well,
to
my civic functions
constituents.
are to ensure that any agreement entered into council is, number one, lawful.
Yep.
And if the mayor's made the appointment and there's no resolution of council supporting that appointment, then can it be considered lawful? And the general manager just said, well, I'm not going to answer that.
I'm not telling.
So that
I'm not
indicates
telling.
that indicates to me, in the first instance, and it's only my opinion, that there isn't a resolution of council, because if there had been a resolution of council,
Here's a bit of paper. Here's where the minutes are.
I'm pretty
We had
sure
a council meeting.
the
Here's-
general manager, there you go, shut up and go away.
Yeah.
And I would have gone, yeah, cool.
Cool. Answer questions answered. No problem.
Yeah, cool. That satisfies that.
Yep.
But this doesn't.
Yes,
So the questions remain unanswered.
of course.
And therefore, the interests of the community haven't been satiated. Therefore, the community deserves to, the community will continue to ask questions until these,
And some
until there's adequate answers
and
provided.
some people in the community care deeply about this stuff and they want to know everything. And some don't care and don't want to know at all.
That's okay.
And that's fine.
Watch the cricket. Okay. I then went on to ask, please arrange an opportunity to discuss the numerous false statements presented as evidence in the multiple code of conduct matters brought against me. And the general manager has basically responded in, if you have concerns in relation to the statements made in the code of conduct reports, these should have been raised during the process afforded to you. Well, I did raise them in the first instance, but they were ignored.
Yeah, right.
They were ignored in the second instance, and in the third instance,
Interesting.
and in the fourth instance.
Yeah, you're right.
So I've raised them on multiple occasions. They've been ignored on multiple occasions. So I'm asking for a separate consideration so that we can sit down and talk about, you'll recall the episode we did regarding Councillor Judd's statements,
Yes.
and basically punched a fair few
Holes in those
melon-sized
statements.
holes
Yeah.
in those statements. So, even at the very least, it will provide an opportunity for Councillor Judd to defend those statements.
Yep.
And to provide some context.
Yes.
So I consider that a very poor response, and I don't think it satisfies the inquiry.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
Now,
Well, I know I'm a bit of a simpleton in a lot of ways, but if I ask a question, I'm really, really simple, and I have this
Yes.
this thing where I just want an answer.
yeah, just an answer.
Answer
Yes,
answer the damn question.
yes or no.
It's pretty simple.
You don't have to tell me about my civic duties. I'll work that shit out.
Yeah, that's right. You're getting paid 300
You don't have
grand
to
here.
tell me.
Answer the fucking question.
It's an unreasonable diversion of staff time to tell me if the ex-general manager is still on
If
the
you,
book.
as current general manager, do or don't know that off the top of your head, we got a serious problem.
I think so. And you should know a date or an anticipated date that that agreement will end.
You would reckon so?
That'd be pretty much.
That'd probably be the only one that you might have to go, oh, hang on, I'll go back and check what the exact
there would
day
be a
is.
note on a calendar somewhere
Yeah.
where roughly
The answer could be,
Yes.
and this is hypothetical, is Gary Lavelle still employed? He is, and his contract finishes on, I'll just check for you. Check your calendar, whether it's on your phone or in your office, or I'll get back to you on the final date based on the fact that I don't have
about a minute.
Take me about a minute. I'm not even going to have to ask the assistants to help
No,
me.
so the
I'm not going
idea
to have to get the guys
that
down.
results in an unreasonable diversion of staff time and resources to mine is unsubstantial.
Seems like not even close.
No,
not even close.
At
At 300 grand, you can spend the 2.5 seconds it takes to answer the damn question.
Now, the general manager is also still banging on because I asked the general manager to clarify, because there's been statements made and claims made that I've disclosed personal health information of Councillor Bushell.
Oh, yes.
In a post on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
So, in your post on the 12th of December 2022, the following statements disclose personal health information about Councillor Bushell. Now, that's a statement from the 24th of December 2024, so just before Christmas, from the general manager. So she has said, the following statements disclose personal health information about Councillor Bushell, and she goes on to refer to these statements. And I have said on my Facebook page from the 12th of December 2022, 2 years ago and a bit, Belinda looked to be in an agitated and emotional state, and the first thing she said to me was, if my kids grow up without a mum because I've killed myself, ... Now,
that sounds like stating a fact as you see.
Well,
I wasn't there, so
she looked to be in an agitated and emotional state, and the first thing she said was that. Now, I can't see any reference to any health matters there.
No.
Emotional and agitated. People get into emotional and agitated states
all the time. I was agitated multiple times today.
But if you've got a health issue, did anyone did you disclose a health issue in being agitated and emotional?
No.
No, I can't make that link.
Yeah, no.
And the thing that really frustrates me is we know that the current general manager, Melissa Boxall, did a Bachelor of
Psychology or something, you said.
Specialising in sociology and psychology.
I think a big part of the problem is so many people spending time in these universities.
There's a little bit of that.
I think
there's a little bit we can go on. I've just yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not against all university, and I think obviously some university degrees are great. I also think some are a complete waste of time, and really feed nonsense and bullshit.
The general manager goes on to make a number of other unsubstantiated statements, and then also makes a suggestion. I also suggest that you would benefit from speaking to a psychologist to further understand the implications of your online content, both on Facebook and YouTube, and the psychosocial impacts that is likely to be having on others. Council's Employee Assistance Program, Centrecare, has psychologists available to speak to, and they can be contacted on 1300 619 379. Well, why would I need to talk to a psychologist?
Because everybody's sad, everybody's depressed, and everybody's fucking.
I haven't disclosed personal health information.
And even if you had to be perfectly honest, no,
but I haven't. I've given my opinion of the actions of an individual at a certain point in time.
Yeah.
And not once have I disclosed any person. Now, the thing that's getting these people a little bit upset is the fact that suicide's being mentioned.
Well,
Well, I didn't mention it.
yes,
The individual who visited my shop mentioned it,
yes.
and they look to be trying
You've
to
therefore
use it
reported on
as a
the
tool to
of
put
emotional
pressure on me
manipulation. Yeah,
to make me make a decision or take some action relative to their claims.
yeah.
Now, I think that warrants further investigation. Now, those actions were brought to the attention of Mr. Gary Lavelle when he was General Manager of Temora Shire Council. Those actions were brought to the attention of the Office of Local Government. So, for me to speak of these matters, the current General Manager is appearing to be making some thing of me even speaking of it. But there's no mention of the individual taking those actions.
Yeah.
So, I think it's absurd.
I think there's plenty of absurdities. I must admit, though, I'm a bit, arguably, I can be a bit of a hard ass or a bit stoic's probably a good word. I do consider a certain amount of depression to be real. I also consider a certain amount of it to be attention-seeking bullshit from crybabies.
Well, or also a weaponisation of this,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, and it's used as a psychological tool.
Of course it is, and you know,
What do we
everything.
call it? Psychological abuse, I think the term was in that in the like. How many times have you heard the story where so and so's boyfriend told them they'd kill themselves if they left him,
Oh,
and so they stayed with him in an abusive relationship?
yeah, fuck.
You know, that's the sort of shit we're talking about.
I just, it just does me. It takes, when people try to weaponize this shit and they throw it out there as tanty or whatever, it undermines the people who genuinely have serious
But
issues.
this is the whole thing. When
And-
you call it out as bad behaviour, I'm the devil.
Oh, of course, yeah. Look,
And it's bad behaviour. It's nothing more or less than bad behaviour.
absolutely, and
So-
trying to weaponize it is about as disgusting as it gets.
I think so.
Because there are some legitimate folks out
That's
there
right.
who have done it.
Yes. And if
I
I
get-
needed a psychologist, I would contact one.
Well, you
But I
get,
don't.
you get to sit here with me once a week. I mean, let's be fair. That'll.
Because, and we've spoken about this before, we're positive people.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
surrounded by supportive, positive people.
Yeah.
We've been through the highs and lows of life, and we are, for want of a better word, resilient.
Yep.
Through genetics, through whatever.
Combination of multiple things, I would reckon.
I'm rapidly approaching my 60s. I'm closer to my 60s than my 50s. You know,
You old bastard.
I've been through the mill and I've been called names, and I know that they don't matter because I know who I am.
Yep.
And I know what I do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know that the majority of this is absolute smack.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Oh, look,
I might take it camping, and if we run out of toilet paper,
I'm
we
sure
can
there's,
use it.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who think I'm the biggest arsehole in the world and that I don't care and blah, 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 blah. But it's not that I don't care. It's that quite often people just come out so much frivolous bullshit that I'm just not
Yes.
I'm just not that interested.
If
I
you're
mean,
going to play the mental health card, play it when you need it, and not a fucking second before.
absolutely. And, you know, and I've had very good friends who have gone through. They've done it. They've done the job. And, you know, and I just...
We spoke about
It's-
the display at Canberra, and what was the thing they were putting on the lawn for every young man that had committed suicide in the past 12 months?
I was a pair of shoes, I think. Wasn't it at one stage? It was
There was something. There was
you know,
and it was
like,
it was a huge amount of individuals who were misunderstood, and they just look.
some, you know, like it's,
Some people can't see a way through this stuff, and they punch the card.
well, and you can see it too. I can see the world closing in on
But
any given week.
But the one thing I want to tell people, this is one thing I can say, because I've been there. I've been under the pump. I've been in situations where I thought can't get any worse, and it has. You know, like it's like, I thought I was just messed up, but now I've been kicked in the nuts as well.
Yeah.
But then, whatever, something good happens. It's only small, something changes, and 6 months later, you're in a situation, and you can't believe how well you're doing, and how good life can be.
Things can change on a dime.
So
And
you
know,
need,
after a cloudy night or a big storm.
that's exactly
What happened? What happened? The big storm yesterday.
Beautiful day.
A beautiful day, and everything was fantastic.
And you have to And sometimes people need medication, sometimes people need treatment, sometimes people need the support of their friends and family to get through these really
Yeah.
tough times.
Absolutely.
But don't waste it and don't bullshit about it.
Yeah.
And if you need help, sing out. Everyone, no one belittles the idea of it. And everyone, the one thing that I find most disgusting is when organisations like this, Temora Shire Council, espouse these types of opinions, and realistically, it's just counted. It's so negative and so contrary to what their obligations are, and it's so damaging to the actual process, and it's just a complete and utter waste of any sensible person's time. And it's so negative and so counterproductive. Like, would you believe? And we're going to get onto this in a little minute.
Yeah.
But as a recommendation from the first code of conduct was that council engage a highly credentialed mediator to work through outstanding issues between Councillor Irvine and Councillor Bushell.
Sure.
Now, I was up
That
for
seems
that.
fair and reasonable.
I was up for that,
Yeah,
straight up. Yep, that'd be a great idea.
Yep.
I sat down with the new general manager, and the new general manager told me that council deemed that too expensive.
Oh.
Now, that was following a recommendation from the first code of conduct,
Yeah, right.
when council had probably spent, on average, about $17,500. They thought it was too expensive to engage a mediator to sit down and work through some of these issues.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And just get the cards on the table and work out what was going on.
Yep.
So 4 codes of conduct later, and they've spent $70,000 and they still haven't engaged the mediator. I believe that they're full of shit. I really do. If they're not going to take the first step and do what the recommendation of the first code of conduct was, you know, the majority of my other codes of conduct have been for writing
dominoes flowing off on
well,
that.
they've been for writing an email about the absurdity of that decision.
Yeah.
So now I've had a subsequent, I've requested in writing the general manager, and the general manager now claims that she didn't make that statement. Now, I left that meeting and I had spoken to a number of people, support people, prior to that meeting, and I said, I'm going to ask this question. When I left that meeting, I said to those people, this is what she said, and this is a ridiculous answer.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. But we've just gone and put everyone through. Like, that's what it costs council. It probably cost me double that.
Oh, for sure it would have.
I put a shit ton of work into the first one because I thought, okay, we'll treat this
process
with some respect, and I will put forward all of the evidence that I have to support my actions, and they ignored the fucking lot.
Yeah, you're a better man than I am. I would have started bashing up their ass.
I'm at that point now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where that's at. So that's where all of this BS is realistically just a continuation of a failure. It really is just a failure to address the first issues. And the main point to remember here, for everyone who's listening, there is no major issues between myself and Councillor Bushell. Director of Environmental Services, Chris Dunstan, engaged me to undertake a contract in about 2011, 2012.
Yeah, we went through all this.
And Mr. Dunstan reneged on that contract in 2008.
Yeah.
And that was the catalyst for everything that's unfolded here. I believe Councillor Bushell's just been dragged into something inadvertently and become roadkill in the process.
Which is sad. You know, look, it's sad. And unfortunately, you spend enough time around the political caper.
But realistically,
surprise you.
What it does is it creates a distraction so that the real issues aren't addressed. And that's, I think, what the purpose of the whole process has been.
That's usually the purpose.
Yes. So
there's always smoke and mirrors. There's always manoeuvring.
So,
you know,
to flesh that out, I was sitting in a council meeting on the 19th of December.
Yeah.
Now, I think that was a Thursday, the 19th of December. Let me check, because council meetings are on a Thursday. December 19th, Thursday. That was a council meeting. Okay. I got an email from a code of conduct investigator.
Oh,
on the 19th of December. When I was sitting, my iPad tingled and said, "You've got mail."
You've got mail.
So I'm sitting in the council meeting. I said, "Well, I'll just check this mail because it's come through on my council email, so it could be important."
Could be, yeah.
Well, it was from a code of conduct investigator telling me that I now have a fifth.
I think you're over 5.
Anyway,
Oh, shit.
I read the bullshit. I actually came and done the show with you
Yeah, right. Yep.
and didn't.
Mention it at the time. So you're a 5, baby. 5.
Anyway, the next day I drafted a response.
Oh, my God. Oh, Christ.
Now, dear investigator, I've received various documents contained in one email sent by yourself to the email address allocated to me by the council. I consider these actions initiated by Temora Shire Council and carried out by yourself to be a continuation of bullying, harassment, psychological abuse and corrupt conduct. Similar actions have been reported to the OLG, the Minister of Local Government and Safe Work. Nothing's been done to address my complaints and no consideration has been given to the impacts of these actions are having on my own personal health and well-being. So I'm a bit sick of it because it's all bullshit and you won't listen to, I'll put forward a fact and you ignore it.
Yeah.
So it's a completely corrupted process and it's being completely misused.
Yeah.
So Temora Shire Council has used the code of conduct improperly to negatively impact my well-being, my reputation, my family, my relationships in the community, my business, my income and my staff member. I consider this action a continuation of these negative behaviours. So Temora Shire Council councillors and staff have lied in evidence in previous code of conduct investigations. Previous investigations have failed to establish the facts of the matters. So they're relying on false facts to make findings against me.
Yep.
To preserve my own health and well-being, I will not be participating in the process you have commenced. So please do not email me on any email account, either council or business. Do not phone or attempt to make any other contact with me. Do not write to me. Do not approach me. So I'll forward this letter to the General Manager of Temora Shire Council. I'll forward this letter and your correspondence to the Minister for Local Government, so he may be aware of the situation. I will not contact the OLG as they are implicated and complicit in the negative actions listed above. So, signed, sent on the day following receipt.
So you sort of told them to fuck off with nicer words. Well done.
You run your program. You run your investigation.
Do whatever you
make
want.
up whatever bullshit you want. You get as many lie-filled statements as you like. I'm sick and tired of trying to refute them. I'm sick and tired of putting forward hard fact that demonstrates my side of the story. Let's just get the bullshit out of the road and let's get to the pointy end of it where you're trying to sack me in court and we can test all of the evidence.
Yeah, fair call.
You know, I've submitted evidence in the previous codes of conduct and will rely upon all of that information to defend myself in this upcoming matter.
Yeah.
Now, I've just breached the code of conduct by disclosing that I'm the subject of an investigation.
Well, because it's supposed to be a big secret.
It's supposed to be completely confidential.
Yes.
Well, fuck off. No, seriously.
No, amen.
No. And that is another breach of the code of conduct by disclosing that. But this is the rub. So we're up to that.
Yeah, right. Oh, good.
You'll remember before Christmas we spoke about Georges River Council and the Labor Minister for Local Government putting a performance improvement order potentially onto Georges River Council because they were using codes of conduct improperly. You remember that?
No council would ever use them improperly. No way.
Anyway, I've got the minutes from the Georges River Council meeting from Monday the 16th of December. So this is very current.
Yeah.
It's only
a month ago.
3 days before I got my code of conduct.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of passages here that are really interesting. The terms of the proposed performance improvement order are: Council's required to undertake the following actions to improve its performance. Now listen to this. This is from the Minister. Georges River Council is ordered not to apply or attempt to apply any existing legislation, regulation, policy or code that impedes the right of a councillor's ability to communicate about political matters, which includes council-related matters, unless such legislation, regulation or code is necessary for a purpose that is compatible with the system of government and democracy in Australia, and only if they are suitable, reasonably necessary and proportionate in achieving that. Now, let me tell you that the basis of this most recent code of conduct on me is relative to content from Dean and Irv Spin Doctors.
I'm shocked.
Now, the minister has told Georges River Council, don't be trying to bung
Don't be
code of
jumping,
conduct
reaching,
bullshit on.
yeah, overreaching, kids. You're getting a little bit above yourselves here.
Well,
Get back into your little smelly box.
there's some
Stay there.
interesting statements within this. The minister goes on to state, I am of the view that council's actions, both through the additional requirement in its media policy for a register, blah, 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 have potentially placed the council in breach of the Act. In particular, Section 232, which sets out the role of a councillor and council's action specifically in constraining a councillor's role in representing the collective interests of residents, ratepayers, and the local community, and constraining a councillor's ability to facilitate communication between the local community and the governing body. Now, I'll put it to you that everything that I'll put forward on this program is informational for the residents and ratepayers, and I am being a conduit from the council to the residents and ratepayers. And I believe that this most recent action is certainly a constraint.
Well, it's an attempted constraint. It doesn't
Yes.
seem to be working real well.
Well,
Unlike the first, second, third, and fourth, and now the fifth, that
And
we're
also,
all sort of designed
it
to.
could be preventing a councillor being accountable to the local community for the performance of the council. So seriously, if someone says to me, how come this is going on? Surely I've got the ability to say, well, I don't, this is what's going on. I've gone to great lengths to bring some transparency to council's behaviour, to council's actions, by getting the access to the agreement with the ex-general manager. That was all hush-hush and secret squirrel.
Well, I know, because we brought this up first down at the Pterodactyl,
Yes.
and then we carried it on here, because I certainly had no idea that we were paying two at once. And it's not a 2-for-1 deal whereby we're paying half the money for twice the experience. It's the other way around.
Yes.
You know, like
Well,
it's not a bargain.
It's written into the agreement that the ex-general manager doesn't have to perform any duties. So we're paying him for nothing in
Nothing.
return.
Yeah, that's right. Well, surely there's some sort of rule that says councils can't just spend ratepayer money giving it to their friends.
This is the response from Georges River Council, and
we don't like it.
Well, they don't like it, and look, they have got a couple of
valid points, mate. Yeah, fair enough.
Basically, they've said, let me find this passage. It's pretty good where they say, pretty much they've basically said, if you've got a problem with what we're doing and we're using the current code and the provisions of that code, we'll change it.
Change them. Yeah, and there's an argument for that too.
And he would have sat there and gone, well, good point.
Good point. I better get on to changing this, hopefully, is his response.
Now,
but
let's read that. Okay, so that's the minister's opinion.
Yeah. Which he's entitled to an opinion like everybody.
But he is putting forward the idea that councillors should speak their mind and they should not be constrained.
Well, that's his opinion. I'd like to see him put that into some legislation somewhere if he's going to be doing that, for sure. And I agree with it.
Yes. And he needs to get on with...
Even the councillors I disagree with, I absolutely defend their right to have the ability to say what they believe and push the carts that they want to push.
Yes, but okay, so now we know that we had a report as to the money that's been expended by Temora Shire Council in the current codes of conduct was about $69,500, ballpark at $70K.
Yeah.
For 4 codes of conduct. Well, we just commenced another one.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they're running an average of about 7.5K. So we're going to be getting up to that magic 100K figure pretty quick. And then plus there's a cost on me as well.
Yeah,
so if you want to combine those costs, we're
well over that. Yeah, for sure. It's the Daily Bugle. I haven't.
No, but anyway, there was a bit of a to and fro, push and shove. about the fact that Temora didn't have any fireworks and they felt a bit left
They've
out.
had fireworks for the last 12 months. We've been right in the thick of it.
Oh, well.
How many fireworks do those people want? So I'm assuming they didn't, what, New Year's fireworks they didn't do. Is that what you're saying? I used to think if where was I New Year's Eve? I was actually up in Sydney working. Ironically, I had a
I
couple
was
of
in
jobs.
bed at 9.
I had a couple of jobs to do, and then I was actually I ended up in a live stream for a little while, just on midnight for probably a half hour, 45 minutes. I guess you'd call it an interview, I suppose, but a bit of a live stream interaction that needed to be didn't need to be, but pleasant way, I guess, catching up with some folks and, discussing some interesting topics. Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm not overly committed that I think that council should be paying for fireworks either.
No.
Council should be in a position where arguably if some sort of voluntary social committee says we want to host a fireworks night, the only thing I would see that is almost justifiable for council sticking their nose in would be to say, okay, no problem, rubber stamp it, make sure you've got a fire marshal or a fire extinguisher in case something goes,
control, we might be able to
make sure something goes right or bugger off. But other than that, if a private organisation wants to do it, it's not council's job to run fireworks.
There was it really split the community 50-50. There was a lot of pros, a lot of cons. There was a big Facebook blow up about it, but
I think that'd be one of the pages I'm banned from, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the Temora Independent have reached out to the mayor for some insights.
Yeah, right.
Now, Mayor Rick Furman said it's easy to type something on Facebook and bellyache about what may not be happening, but there's a heck of a lot going on in Temora Shire. He said there were a few reasons why fireworks had not been a priority to see out 2024. There have been New Year's Eve fireworks in previous years, organised by a small community committee led by Mrs. Rhonda Casey, Councillor Furman said. They did the hard work and raised funds to put them on. Then they retired and no other group took it on. So it seems as though the mayor would be supportive of
what I just said.
Community group.
Sounds like the mayor and I are in agreement. Good job.
Then there were those couple of years where the state government provided grant funds post-COVID, which council allocated to a New Year's Eve fireworks display.
Which I oppose that, because why are we wasting taxpayer dollars on bullshit?
Well, we could have spent it on codes of conduct.
Well, I'd rather it not be distributed and stolen in the first place. Well, but anyway.
To be frank, this is the mayor speaking, as quoted by the Temora Independent today, Thursday, January 16, 2025. To be frank, council cannot be expected to organise everything.
I agree. Look at us, Rick. You and I are agreeing on quite a lot here.
Lack of money to host a fireworks display also played a key role in council's decision. Furthermore, funds are very tight for council and it hasn't been a priority, Councillor Furman said. Like households, we're watching our budgets closely too. Well, I think that statement is very disingenuous.
Probably pissing into the wind a little bit there.
When you consider that council have spent $70,000 in the last 2 years on codes of conduct and have dived in again.
Have you actually?
Even to the point where I haven't got a letter of complaint regarding anything I've said on the show, other than this notice of investigation.
Yeah.
So council didn't go the cheap alternate route.
They went straight to the top of the financial tree.
No, we're going to an investigation straight away.
Yeah.
So we're going to spend the money. Oh, now, one of the most important things I really want to highlight to you how this shit works is in the notice of investigation from the investigator, he's gone on to tell me about the confidentiality. Well, I'm telling him that this is no longer a code of conduct investigation. This is actually a misuse of the process and it's a bullying action.
Yeah.
So just so long as he knows.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's watching.
Now, if you wish to discuss this matter with someone other than your legal representative or a support person, I request that you first discuss this with me.
I request that you fuck
I
off.
remind you that any
Who
breach of the
are you?
confidentiality of this process could constitute a breach of the code of conduct.
The fact that these deluded pricks think they can just come in from the wings and, oh, well, I'll tell you who you can and can't talk to. And who are you? You're
No, but
nobody.
this is
Fuck
the
off.
disgusting part of it.
Ah,
Am I going to commit? Like, can I go to the magic pudding of legal funds that the mayor has access to, or the general manager has access to initiate these codes of conduct against me? Can I avail myself of funds to defend myself from that magic pudding of funds? No.
I would imagine not. Yeah.
No. So I've got to fund my defence myself. So clearly they've got unlimited resources and they can allocate those resources how they see fit. If they want to spend $1 million bringing codes of conduct against me, they can do so.
It's easy to spend other people's money.
And in the process, they're expecting me to engage like legal representatives. Are they going to do it pro bono? No. So you're telling me, you've sent me a letter telling me that I have to spend money.
Yeah, fuck off.
That's bullying. That's a complete demonstration. That is the most obvious demonstration of the power imbalance that this system has.
Yeah.
I'm an individual of limited means. I'm just a small business guy in a small country town.
Yep.
They can go and engage multiple code of conduct investigators and lawyers and legal
All these
representatives.
wankers.
Every minute that they spend as a staff member on this process, they get paid for.
They get paid for it. It comes out of the
Every
ratepayers'
invoice that
pockets.
gets raised by their investigators, their legal representatives, gets met out of
other people's money.
Other people's
Ratepayers' money.
Yes. And I'm expected to spend my own time and my own resources defending what is a completely corrupt process. I actually took the first one seriously. This is beyond a joke. Now, I sent a copy of that letter to the Minister for Local Government, Mr. Ron Honig, and he received that on the 20th of December.
Yep.
Right. Now, here we are, 16th today.
Yep. 16th January it is.
Okay. So he's had 3 weeks.
Yep.
If he was going to do anything meaningful, or at least reach out and
so what do you do?
Have a conversation with me and try and understand, because I've sent him the notice of investigation. He's fully aware of the preceding matters.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's obvious to me that the minister...
It's not a top priority for him.
No, but it's a priority for him at Georges River Council. Now, that involves Labor councillors.
Yeah, yeah.
Now...
As in Labor Party councillors.
Yeah, so to state the obvious, the minister
political motivation
is a Labor Party minister. Is it to the point where the minister will go into bat for Labor Party councillors, but he won't go into bat for just
independent, unaffiliated councils?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, this is beyond a joke. I'm not going to tie myself in knots, and like I said, I'm not going to participate in this process. I have to look after my own health and well-being. They gave me the option to respond by the 20th of January.
I love when they give you like dates. Like, you will do the following by the following date.
Yeah, and they said,
tell me what to do. Who the hell do you people think
even still? So you send it to me on the 19th of December, and you tell me I have to have a response back to you by the 20th of January.
Oh, I reckon.
I'm sorry, but I spent that
one
time
pretty quick
with my wife and my children and my grandchildren and my friends and my boat and my car and doing things I like to do and looking after my own health and well-being and not bullying anyone and not causing anyone any trouble. So, that was just the most disgusting, filthy, misguided, misdirected attempt to try and blow my Christmas holidays, my only chance of the year where I get to really wind down.
Yeah.
And it's filth. So I'm not playing your stupid game. Go and do your worst. Go and make up all the bullshit you want. Get all of the false statements, and we'll sit down at some point in the future and we'll go through them, and you'll have to actually substantiate everything that you put forward.
Yeah.
In the context of the whole thing. Right, we're going to go right back to
Oh,
where Mr. Dunstan engaged me to do the job, where Mr. Dunstan threw me under the bus, where the mayor and the general manager put a completely unnecessary 10-page legal document in front of me and insisted I had to sign it. We've got council directing work away from my business. We've got bullying, we've got harassment, we've got intimidation, we've got psychological abuse. We'll go through the whole lot. So I'm not going to waste my time on some bullshit investigation. I'm not going to waste my holidays. You just box the shit up. Tell me when we're ready to get down to business, and I'll be there.
yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm not going to be wasting my time
No.
worrying about the opinions
No,
of these Muppets.
I'm sick and tired of these arseholes, and it's all based on, like, why are we here?
Well, because I have nothing better to do on a Thursday night than hang out with you and,
But why are we here? We're here because council won't deal with the matters.
Well, look, mate, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to have an interesting 12 months.
Well,
I think
game on. That's the first show.
Game on.
That's what's been going on.
Code of conduct number 5. Look, I tell you what. It's always
That's the first one of the new term. So
first one of the new term. So we're just kicking the game off.
I got 4 in my first term, but I'm telling you, the mayor has stated categorically that we're tight on funds.
Oh, but he's also stated categorically, you be careful, councillor. I believe.
Yeah, you be careful. I'll be giving you a code of conduct.
Yeah. Oh, boo-hoo.
I've got plenty of money and plenty of power.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it around.
I'll tell you what. I have a feeling with the incumbency changing in America and a few other things. I have a little bit of feeling things are going to get wild over the next 4 years.
I don't know whether that's going to permeate down to here, but I certainly do know.
I'll be doing my best to make sure that it does.
I certainly do know that there's a huge amount of people, and I've had people reaching out, and they've been felt very supportive of the stance I've taken and that you've taken, and they feel emboldened and they feel like they're not alone. And I think there's a movement starting to take hold, and I think we're going to expose a lot of this absolute ridiculousness, and even to the point where those comments made by the minister were exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're trying to muzzle me with codes of conduct because they don't want to hear. They don't want to talk about what they've done. They don't want to talk about their actions. They don't want to talk about how they've treated people, how they've treated loyal, just people going about their day to day, and they've treated them absolutely terribly.
Yep.
And they just don't want to have that spoken about. They want that buried. They'd also give themselves awards and
until they start getting a few black eyes from a few pricks like us who aren't afraid to say exactly what's going on, other people just get stomped out, squashed out, bullied out,
even the minister
intimidated, harassed.
The minister knows that the system is broken.
Of course.
And the minister has stated that.
Stevie Wonder can see that the system's broken.
And it's being misused. And look, I'm telling you, we're in for the fight.
It's going to be a big year. I'm not going anywhere.
Thanks for your time tonight.
No, always a pleasure. But I did make a promise that we're going to be as close to an hour as humanly possible. We've just hit on that hour mark, 1 hour and 2 minutes and 5 seconds or whatever, but we were 10 minutes late. So
that's not bad.
I think we're going all right. Yeah, we've whacked a heap in there for the first episode. We are going to have a lot of guests this year. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
We're going to roll in some people, so it's not just you and I banging on about the same few issues.
Spice it up.
We'll spice it up. We'll switch it up. We'll play it up. Yeah. We are still, of course, doing the whole like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. If you're keen, give it a thumbs up, all that sort of thing. Yeah, if you've got thoughts and/or requests for something to be topics to be touched on, I'm not sure about tackling just about anything.
What's our homework? California taxes
compared to New South Wales, even as a percentage per capita or something. We'll have a bit of a look.
Won't be too hard.
But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being patient. My phone blew up last week when we weren't on. I'm like, guys, it's just not going to happen this week.
We're only
human. Speak for yourself. Everyone, thank you so much. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. And hell, I don't know about you, but I appreciate the hate. It kind of, stokes my fire a little bit. I don't mind it.
You don't want to get a big head.
No, but it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like, yeah, cool. If I didn't have a certain amount of hate, I'd be thinking I'm not having an impact.
If I haven't got a code of conduct, then I know they're not watching. It's just confirmation that they are watching, and they're watching religiously.
Oh, they're watching religiously. Don't worry about that. Of that I am certain.
So anyway,
that I am certain.
I hope you've had your fill tonight, and we'll be back again next week with some fresh stuff.
Game on. Everybody have a great week, yeah? Thank you.